Hey again, everyone, it's Tyler Cavalli, Jacob Roth for KRVN, sizzling across Nebraska, the Red Meat Road Trip, as today's venture brings us to Norfolk, Nebraska, to R&M Meats. We're excited to be here thanks to our great sponsors, the Nebraska Beef Council, the Nebraska Cattlemen, the Dawson County Cattlemen, Cross Diamond Cattle, and Cross Diamond Meats of Bertrand. This is a fun one. We've been mostly surveying northeast Nebraska with a lot of restaurants, and now we're back at a meat locker here, part of the Nebraska Beef Passport program.
While the restaurants have been a ton of fun, looking forward to getting back in the locker. Something about the lockers is just a little bit different. All of them have such a cool story, not that the restaurants don't, but there's just something different about the meat locker and the service they provide to their community. Excited to learn more, especially because this is one of the bigger communities that we've seen a locker be in as we're here in Norfolk. So excited to kind of see what that's like as we're here finishing out that northeast Nebraska run.
Yeah, you're right. The big city aspect. We'll see how that impacts R&M Meats and also with other surrounding communities and how things are going here for them. So let's go inside and let's learn more about R&M Meats here in Norfolk. All right, we are back at R&M Meats here in Norfolk, where we're now talking to the owner, Rod Matson, who is now joining us. And Rod, you guys have been here since 2010. Let's talk about the origin and how you guys decided to get into the meat industry.
Well, I started back in the 90s at the locker in Petersburg, and we were a USDA inspected plant there, and that's where I pretty much learned everything. And just one of those things just kind of come natural. I enjoyed it, and you like seeing the reaction to people of product they eat. And so years later, we decided to start our own thing, and away we went.
And it's been obviously now 25 years later,
15.
or 15 years later, if I could do math. 15 years later. Talk about how things have, from 2010 to now, how things have changed for you guys in the industry.
We started out, we were at a different location, much smaller place. We moved out here 6 years ago, and moving out here, we have more room for retail, so we get more publicity, just off of what we have available. And we first started, we had, like one meat case, and we'd sit there for hours on end, hoping somebody come in the door, and eventually word of mouth, and doing gear processing, just start bringing more and more people in, and just getting to where we are today. So.
And your kind of operation's a little bit different than, it's not quite a full slaughter facility, but you're not getting stuff just in boxes. You're getting stuff in the quarters, or what does that kind of look like as it's coming into your building here?
The stuff that comes into our building that we sell for retail is all USDA inspected. It'll come in boxes, box beef, box pork. We get some stuff local out of Loop River, beef out of Randolph, and they'll take 25, 30 head down to O'Neill Packing in Omaha. They will slaughter them for them, and then they will break them down into box beef, and then we buy the box beef from them. So it is a local ranch, locally.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the stuff that we'll get in is going to be like from Staver Meats, Sioux City, wholesale, where there comes from, Lexington, Grand Island, just pork plant down in Madison, that's where we get all of our retail product. Now, customers can slaughter the animal at their place and bring it in, and we'll cut it up to their order, how they want it, and give it back to them.
So they can bring in a half or a quarter carcassed up already, and you guys will finish out the processing.
Yeah, yep. So.
And talk about that decision to go that route instead of not having the whole process of slaughtering here, hanging, doing the whole thing.
The butchering part was not allowed in the city limits.
Gotcha.
So, but we recently found out that we could be slaughtering, so now we need to decide if that's what we're going to do. So, but for now, it's been working this way. And our retail end has been keeping us real busy.
No, and it looks like you have quite the robust retail side. We're looking at a lot of double wide freezers, really nice space for you. Talk a little bit about the growth you've seen in that. Obviously, in the past 6 years, you said you've been in this building. Has that continued to grow, or what have you seen from that? Obviously, in that 6-year window, COVID took place. Talk a little bit about that.
When COVID hit, that's when like the price of hogs just tanked, and we were busier during COVID than we've ever been, because people were getting hogs, bringing them in, and we were, cutting them up for them. And during the COVID, obviously beef price and everything were going sky high, and, it was just people coming in and just buying, lots of stuff. And so as far as COVID, it really didn't affect us. It actually helped us as far as business. But then we get people that, just repeat customers coming in and buying a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We kind of got something for everybody, and, it just keeps growing that way, word of mouth. And, I would say probably every day or two, there's still people coming in that have never been here before. It's their first time, and we get a lot of repeat business too. So.
Again, we're talking to Rod Mattson, who's the owner of R&N Meats here in Norfolk. It's our latest stop of KRVN's Sizzling Across Nebraska, our red meat road trip. In terms of people bringing their animals in, how has that gone for you? I mean, have you had more and more people doing that, obviously with the word of mouth, and have you guys had to limit that even at times?
Yeah, word of mouth, we just keep getting more and more people that are, wanting to do that. It used to be it was hard to get locker appointments to get things slaughtered.
Right.
And so, they would just slaughter it, bring it in. And, we, for the most part, we could accommodate, when they wanted to do it. There is certain times a year where, we can't do that because we do a lot of deer processing.
Okay.
And, you've got our holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, all right in the middle of deer season. So that's kind of our busy time of year. So.
Yeah, it's interesting. We talked to a lot of lockers, obviously, on this red meat road trip across Nebraska, and a lot have said, we did deer for a long time. We're going away from it for some of those reasons you mentioned. It's during that busy season, or it also takes a long time to shut everything down, clean everything. You guys are still staying in it. Why is it important to keep doing that part of it?
The deer processing was really what got our business going. And, the retail side was just something that we were doing as a time filler. And, we do, on average, probably 1,000 deer a year.
Wow.
And, so we don't want to just turn our customers away and, completely just say, no, we're not going to do it anymore, because ultimately our customers are the ones who build our business. So.
Different kind of red meat here on the red meat road trip. We're talking.
No, definitely talk a little bit about, obviously you've talked about how that retail has grown a little bit. Do you feel like folks are coming in for just kind of one in bursts and grabbing a couple of things for the dinner for that week, or are people coming in with a big cooler, filling it up and buying in bulk, or are you seeing a mix? What does that kind of look like, especially with the meat economy being where it's currently at?
We see a lot of people coming in, and out-of-towners, they'll stock up their coolers, take stuff home. We get people that come in every day, every other day, just decide what they want to have for dinner that night. And, it just depends. A lot of our snack stuff, that's for people going on fishing trips, hunting trips, golf courses, they're just such a wide variety of stuff that, it's been a little bit, like I said, it's just a little bit of something for everybody.
Rod, let's talk about, you're in a larger city right here in Norfolk, and a lot of locations that we've been in with the meat lockers, they're closer to maybe a town or a city, but it's been fairly rural. What is it like maybe for you being closer to a bigger population?
I think we have the ability to draw in, more local people. Obviously, a lot of the small towns will still have people come this way. For us, it's just, we don't really look at it as, we're in a big town, because Norfolk's a small town to us. So, it still has that small town atmosphere.
Do you feel like a lot of people, especially since kind of COVID, needing more meat and actually wanting it, knowing where they're getting it from, appreciate places like this more than maybe like a box store?
Yeah, they definitely appreciate us more than, knowing where it's coming from, having a good idea where it's coming from anyway. And, that's just what they want,
You talked about it a little bit ago about the prices, obviously with the pork hog side of things earlier, and how obviously prices were different. But now we're in an area of the time where beef prices are up. What has that affected like, or what is that like, and how's it affected you guys?
Ultimately, it's just made us increase our prices accordingly. You know, some customers are buying, you know, a little bit less than what they normally would, you know, anticipating that the prices, you know, will eventually go down to where it's more affordable. But for the most part, you know, people still buying.
Obviously, here is where you're kind of tucked away. You're on a main road, but your front door is pretty deep into the lot. Talk about your location and the hours if someone's looking to stop by here to get their passport stamp for the Red Meat Road Trip.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Tuesdays we're here till 7, and Saturdays we're open 8 to 12. And we know we've seen a lot of our big traffic for the passport program has been on Saturdays. You know, people just making a fun day out of it and just traveling and, you know, just getting a little bit from everywhere and that they stop and just, you know, having a good time with it.
And it is the Red Meat Road Trip, so obviously if somebody is on the passport or wanting to stop by, what do you recommend of Nebraska beef or beef in general here that they should pick up here at R&M Meats?
Sticks or jerky.
Any kind?
Any kind. We got spicy, we got mild. Just kind of pick your poison.
What would you recommend for Jacob and I to snag before we hit the road?
You better have some hot sticks with cheese in them.
I love it. We love the hot side of things, and with cheese mixed in there, definitely can't go wrong at that point. Again, as we wrap things up, talk about, again, your location for those that have never been here and the hours.
We are 2606 South 13th Street in Norfolk, and we are open Monday through Friday from 9 to 5, and Tuesdays 9 to 7, Saturdays 8 to 12.
And again, why is it important to be a part of the Nebraska Beef Passport Program?
What was that?
Why is it important to be a part of the Nebraska Beef Passport Program?
We just get to meet new people and, you know, let them try our products and just see the smiles when they come back.
All right, very good. Well, that is Ron Matson, who's the owner of R&M Meats here in Norfolk, our latest stop of KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska. All right, we're back. Tyler Cavalli, Jacob Roth, along with you here at R&M Meats here in Norfolk. That was fun. That was great to get back into a locker. We hadn't been in one in some time, and it was interesting to learn about how they are operating here within, you know, the city limits of a big city. Probably our biggest city outside of Lincoln, obviously, to this point, that we've had a locker, and really actually a true locker as well.
No, and I think it's cool because they have a couple different dynamics. Stuff sometimes come in those boxes like you see at that traditional meat shop, but then sometimes they also have had stuff come in a quarter to get slaughtered at somewhere that's a USDA inspected facility. Then they finish out the processing here at R&M Meats. So a little bit of a different dynamic, but a cool one nonetheless. And been in this building since, I believe they said it was 6 years ago, so yeah. 2019, seemed like they're fitting in, and they've already had to expand. They were showing us after the fact, add a new cooler. So, I mean, it's always good to see businesses in these communities, whether it's small, medium, large, growing, and that's what it seems to be going on here.
Yeah, along with the new cooler that they just added, the reefer trailer that is built in into the actual facility in the back, that was pretty cool to see too.
No, it was cool to just see how they utilized their space and made things work in the way that they needed to.
Along with all that, we did ask, you know, afterwards if they're taking appointments, if you can drop by with your meat. Again, if you are going to, it needs to be butchered first, and then they will take care of the rest if you don't want to handle all that. But they do recommend taking appointments, or I should say making an appointment, if you're coming to R&M Meats, but that they're looking to expand. This is a place that also continues to be growing.
No, it's really, really cool to see, and I think the favorite part is they talked about a couple of these things and saying, oh, our retail space, they were modest about it. There's been a constant line of cars rolling through. Yeah. The fact that we've been able to stand up by their front sign and not get hit yet is kind of crazy, honestly. So really, really cool there.
Yeah, we better wrap things up before we get our toes ran over here at R&M Meats in Norfolk, Nebraska. As always, thanks to our great sponsors, the Nebraska Beef Council, Cross Diamond Cattle, Cross Diamond Meats of Bertrand, the Nebraska Cattlemen, and of course the Dawson County Cattlemen as well. Another great trip here at R&M Meats in Northeast Nebraska and Norfolk. He's Jacob Roth and Tyler Cavalli. This has been another edition of KRVN Sizzling across Nebraska.